Oh man, iPhone clones have really come a long way in 11 years. This is what they used to look like. Nowadays, it's so hard to tell the difference between an actual clone and the real deal. And in this video, I will be showing you the best iPhone clone to date. Supposedly, the fastest, best camera, the closest to original copy of Apple's iPhone there ever was. And this is it in this box right here. So let's take a look at that. It has everything you could possibly want out of a clone for, a better value than ever before. And this is what it looks like right here. I mean, almost identical boxes, everything. They literally emulating everything, trying to copy Apple's version. So we're gonna take a look and see how close they came to Apple's perfection with the iPhone XS Max clone, also known as the Goophone XS Max version 5. And this is the most expensive clone I've ever bought. So about almost $200, $190 right now. It'll go down in price later. And they say it has improvements in every single sector. So let's check it out. So this is the first iPhone clone ever made. Just for some perspective, back then they didn't look the same. I mean, they called themselves the iPhone, but obviously it looked so much different. And this thing is rarer than the original iPhone even. Like, you cannot find these anymore. It's kind of funny. Dug this out just to show you that. So that's some perspective. Nowadays, look at how close that got. I mean, this right here, the packaging is almost indiscernible. I'm noticing little things just because I've been around this packaging for so long, but for the average person, do pay attention if you're ever buying a new iPhone just so you don't get scammed. First off, this packaging right here, there's a couple differences, and the fake one is on the left here. As you can see, the actual wallpaper is different. This is the leaked one before it was official, so they use that. Later versions will have the same one, so don't anticipate seeing if it's fake just from the wallpaper alone. The text is very, very good. It looks original right there. It's not as dark, but you will never be able to tell without the original box next to you. The logos are color representative, and it now comes in 512 gigabyte flavor. But one thing is funny is that the packaging is flipped upside down. So if it's not relative to the packaging on the front, see how the camera's up here, but the text is down here. That's how you can tell right away that it's fake. But anyways, let's compare this. Anyways, that's 512 gigabytes on both. The fonts look a little funny, a little skinny, so not as original as Apple's. And down here you can see it does have the correct naming, iPhone XS Max Gold 512 gigabytes. So this will be the first time ever that they have had a gold for an iPhone XS clone. That's going to be new. And apparently it has an all new processor, never seen before on clones, quad core, 1.5 gigahertz, supposed to be very fast, a real dual lens camera, or so they say, and 12 megapixels, 5 megapixel front camera. Okay, I'm genuinely curious. Is it as advertised? Is it really going to be the best clone I've ever used? Okay, once again, first impressions do matter, and they're not the best. This is obviously not what Apple's looks like once you do get it out of the box, but look at that. So, wow, very close. Aside from all this garbage I have to peel off of the iPhone, I mean, it's all right of an experience, but wow, that band right there looks very, very close to the real deal. So I'm just gonna pull off the whole screen protector. It looks like crap anyways. And this is the notched version. As you can see, it actually does have the notch up top. And wow, that's quite a considerable chunk down there for the chin. So that's even worse than the other iPhone X clones we've seen. But up here, looking pretty good for the size. And let's peel this off, see what we got. They're covering the logos and the iPhone text. Aha, but there it is. So you do have that dual lens camera, film on everything, man. And no, it is not both. It doesn't look real to me, but it does look a little different from other versions I've seen. But the lens itself does look good. The color is very good. And actually setting it next to an OEM iPhone, you can see here, it looks very, very good just like this. The text is a little off actually. It's pretty close. It's a shade brighter than Apple's. And same thing for the Apple logo. It's not actually gold. It's just a silver chrome. So that right there is a dead giveaway. But the actual color, the gold, the bands, it looks very, very close. So I'm seriously amazed. Wow. Antenna bands, they are a bit thicker here. So they did have to sacrifice on that. And wow, the bottom is not accurate. So the speakers, they are symmetrical, whereas Apple's aren't. And I'm not sure why they went with that, but newer versions will probably fix that. So that's Couple little indiscrepancies here, but overall very, very good, very close in detail. I'm sure they just didn't want to change the design, didn't want to bother it since they already had that. Let's go ahead and turn it on to see how it looks. I don't like that they lied about the dual lens camera. It makes me think that they're going to lie about a lot of the other things. At least I think that's not real for both. But okay, turning on, and wow, for the first time ever on a clone, it actually has the real Apple boot sequence screen and not some other crap. That, okay, is very convincing from a software perspective. So it takes a while to turn on. In the meantime, let's see what we got here. Our accessories. Apple doesn't do this plastic anymore, so if you ever open it and you see that that's the case, that is not real. So let's see if it has a tap to wake. Nope, no. You do have to use the power button, and this is what it looks like inside. So I'm gonna swipe to unlock. Okay, that felt pretty decent. Feels okay responsiveness wise. That's new, so it is transparent now. You can't tap over here, you have to swipe up to get rid of it. And it comes with some weird local app to begin with. And you can't get rid of it, okay. So that's a dead giveaway that this is a fake, but overall behavior seems to be the same. Over here, your widgets view, some weird glitches, artifacts, but very, very close. Let's try the app switcher. So no recent items. Let's go into the settings, close it. Oh, so the weird glitch does persist when you want to go home. Yeah, so that's not very smooth. It looks really ugly, jarring. You can tell right away. And going into the app switcher, yeah, so it does work, but it's not very smooth. It's a very rough experience. Ooh, it does have the nice new icons over here for iOS 12. And the first clone running iOS 12.0 does have 251 gigabytes available. Cool, so no back swipe, no back swipe. Are you guys serious? Okay, another dead giveaway that this is a clone. And this is the first clone that's ever seen a 5G network. Every single other one that I've used has never been able to actually see that. So that's a nice improvement. Okay, so I'd like to make sure size-wise that they're very close. And yeah, they are. Looks like it's pretty much the same identical size. In fact, I'll try and slip it into the case. Yep, fits perfectly into my favorite iPhone case. Oh, and wow, this thing actually has like a physical 3D touch sensor. Yeah, so it can actually differentiate between a long press and a physical hold. First time ever, huh? I'm sure they're using some sort of weird software trick for that, but it does seem to work, and the battery's dead on 3D touch. Interesting, okay. Notification center does work properly, very, very smooth. Navigating through the home screen, very smooth also. So, wow, so far I'm very satisfied, mostly except for leaving apps. That's pretty bad, but let's see if we can jump between apps with a little... Nope. You cannot do that on the iPhone where you can swipe between apps really quick. Over here, you have to go up and then into another app. I like that it actually has the real iPhone charging sounds, which are very hard to hear right now, but they are there. Yeah, so it actually charges, makes the real sound. It doesn't have a screen unlock sound when you swipe up like some of the other clones either. But in accessibility, most of these are fake. Like there's nothing behind here except a couple. So they faked a lot of the menu settings in there. And some of these names, could they not have copied it one for one? Weakening dynamic effect, oral image. I can almost guarantee this is a new processor. Many times they say that it is, and it turns out not to be. But yes, it is a new MediaTek 6739. So indeed it is a quad core, which is why it's being so fast. And I just completely froze the thing. It's gone into a locked state while trying to make Geekbench work, but I don't think it's gonna work for me. It doesn't want me to let it connect to the internet for whatever reason. Wow, so they actually have the shut off screen. I turned it off and it had the spinning logo from iPhone. More attention to detail than a normal clone, but in different areas. Like they forget the usual stuff like a back swipe or a smooth exit or transition to apps, but they have the startup logos and stuff. So interesting, whoever designed this thing. Okay, so sadly I have absolutely nothing to report in terms of performance. Geekbench just locks me out. They blocked it on the network side from working, and I couldn't figure that out, how to make it work. It did tell me some things about the phone though that I didn't know before. They said it had 2 gigabytes of RAM confirmed. It only has 1 gigabyte running Android 7.1.1, but I'm glad they didn't lie about the processor. So the processor actually makes a pretty significant difference. It's much faster than before, than earlier versions, and I can definitely tell that just using it. Look at that, the display resolution is almost that of the iPhone XR, 320 pixels per inch. So all in all, not too bad. I'd also like to test out the Face ID here. Let's do the iPhone unlock, and setup process is registering my camera. Okay, so let me redo that with my actual face. And I'm looking at it. The lock is on the right side now, but it does have a nice animation. Cool. It does work, just very slow and very unsafe. So all things considered, this is the best absolute clone in terms of finish and software, just how much they emulated it. At $190, it's more of a value than other clones have been. I don't know if I can recommend it. Certainly, probably not. I'd rather put that money towards maybe a budget end iPhone, something older rather than this. But hey, it's pretty cool. If you want to seem like you have the new iPhone, but you want to hate yourself every single day using it, this could certainly be the one for you. I'm amazed at how much the finish is like the real one though. So it looks like it until you start picking it up and using it. And as is tradition, let's take a look inside using my favorite method for taking phones apart. Bend them at the seams until the back glass slightly juts out where we can slip something in, because that's how all iPhones need to be repaired, right? But anyways, this is glass and I feel like I'm about to break it. Whoa. And I did manage to cut myself, of course. So need to be a little bit more gentle here. So quite a mess going on here with the cameras. Ooh, for the first time ever, I've actually gotten, sorry about the blood, I've gotten the lens off. And look at that. This is what a fake lens looks like. It's just plastic with a little texture on top to look like a camera lens. Only one of them is actually in the clear here, being a real lens. But it's cool that the 4-way flash is actually real. So they did get that down. Little tiny camera there. I'd be surprised if it was even 2 megapixels. Let's check out that 12 megapixel camera dual that they claimed. Wow, I'm definitely not seeing that HD or that 12 megapixels. It's the same garbage camera as every other clone before it. Every time I think it can't get any worse, they screw it up even worse. That's the worst aspect ratio I've ever seen. So camera's absolute garbage. Let me have a light behind me here. Wow, that's so bad. We have a wireless charging pad here held down by tape, and a battery is now enclosed behind this metal frame, not directly by the glass. So safety-wise, that seems to have improved from the last generation of clones. I don't see a micro SD slot anymore. It's possible they might have removed that because people were upgrading them on their own. Reminds me a lot of modern engine bays where they don't let you see a lot of the components, so they covered them up. But overall, very cool, quite efficient. For a iPhone clone, very, very good build quality, actually. I'm liking it a lot. Real metal, real glass on the front and back. It just feels very premium for such a cheap device. All right, guys, so just want to say thanks for watching. This is the best iPhone clone you can get right now. Still falls short of the real deal. Could be better in the software, of course, but overall, the best yet. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next videos. Peace.